Hey, you guys, it's winter is just around the corner, as you are very aware, which means that, our bodies will naturally start detoxing. Notice what I'm saying, detoxing. I'm not saying you naturally get sick. I mean, we do get sick, but our bodies are like on a timer. When you look at nature and you see how the leaves, there's a time when there's no leaves on the tree. Then the leaves, they grow like little babies, and then they buds, and then they grow up, and then they're full leaves, and then when you get to fall, then they start falling off. Where our bodies are likewise on a timer just like that. And so there's times when your body just naturally detoxifies, and that's typically like in the winter time. And so a lot of times we've been raised and trained to believe, oh, you're just getting sick. Viruses are just jumping all around, all over the place. No, your body, in many cases, it's your body just naturally detoxifying. And so, unfortunately, what we've done is that we've relied on the pharmaceutical companies to give us things to stop that process or to impede that process. Things such as like NyQuil or Pepto-Bismol and things like that. Pepto-Bismol is something that if your body's trying to detoxify, if you're like throwing up, a lot of times that's your body trying to get rid of the toxins that's making you sick in the first place. Or if you have diarrhea, things like that, right? So it's a natural detoxification a lot of times that we go through that we've been calling sick, And so, in many cases. So what we have done here on this platform is we are constantly on a hunt for natural things that will aid our bodies in this natural detoxification process. If you go to sambatree.com, you'll see we got a whole store full of natural things that you can get to aid your body in this natural detoxification process. So among those things is something that we just released, and it's capsules that contain elderberry and sea moss combined. And I'll have some of the stuff on the screen here that'll show you all the benefits of both elderberry and also sea moss. And this is a 1-2 punch when it comes to colds or when your body is going through its detox process and all of that. It's just a natural way to kind of speed the process along so that you can helps the body flush out the rest of those toxins, because ultimately what you want is optimal health. You don't want to stop the process. You just want to aid it so that it can complete doing what it's been doing, And so that's what we specialize in over at sambatree.com. So check it out. This is something we just added to the store. We're also working on some other things. We talked about innovation on this channel and the importance of innovating things. And so right now we're working on developing another product. I'm not going to tell you, but it's awesome. And we should have that up and going, I would say in the next 1 to 2 months. But we're constantly either on a hunt for things that are already out here, or we're just going to develop it on our own. So you can find out and see all of that over on sambatree.com.
Hey everybody, how are you doing? There we go. How's everybody doing tonight? It's good to see everybody here. I know I got a different scene here in the background. I'm still getting set up, y'all. I'm still getting set up. We'll get it. We're getting it together, though. We definitely getting it together. Let me see if I can adjust this here. It is so good to see everybody here this evening. And 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Well, it's actually 9:22. I was waiting. I would have gone a little bit earlier. I was waiting for a piece. Let me just quick thing about me. I am very particular when it comes to my stuff, like in terms of if I have pieces of stuff, like I got a lot of equipment, like camera equipment or sound equipment or things like that. And I always try to keep my stuff all in one particular place. Well, we just moved. So if you get to your destination and everything's in one place, then that's a good thing, right? That should be a huge accomplishment, but not for me. Because I'm like, no, I put it in this box, and after you mentally go through, finish blaming everybody, then you realize, you know what? Anyway, and so, yeah, there was one little piece that I needed for my camera and I could not find it. And typically I will just go through a tear and just keep going through boxes, keep going through, and eventually I'll find it. But I said, you know what? I'm not doing that. Nope, I ain't doing that. How much was that piece? Oh, it was $20. Okay, let me just go buy it and it'll be here in a couple of days. I'll just do that. And so, it was just better for me just to go with that option than for me to, I know eventually it's going to turn up somewhere. But yeah, I said, no, this is a new me. I ain't going to be obsessing over things that can be easily replaced, and so yeah, I'm sitting there waiting for the Amazon man to come. And then finally he came and I was able to rush in here and get things together. So how you guys doing tonight? I hope you're having a good week so far. It is Tuesday, October the 17th, 2023. Of course, a lot is going on in the world, and I'm sure there's a lot going on in your life. We're going to try to have an opportunity, open the phone lines up just for a little bit this evening and get to hear from you. Anything you want, comments or questions or whatever you may have. I would like to hear from you. So stay tuned for that. Maybe we'll, if we can squeeze that in there, we'll try to do that. Okay. So tonight, yeah, we're going to, so you saw the whole Samba Tree little commercial that we did. So yeah, if you're not, if you haven't ordered that, you definitely want to check it out. This is it right here. It's the sea moss, elderberry sea moss capsules. And that's what it is. That's what it looks like right here. And yeah, family, these things are, you're getting into the fall season right now, which means, like I was saying in the video, which means that this is the time of the year where your body begins to detoxify. You're not necessarily getting sick. Like, in other words, the way our Creator created our bodies, He created our bodies to go through seasons, just like trees, just like animals, just like all of creation. It goes through its seasons. It goes through times where, where it's, when you may feel tired, for example, like these last few days, I've been feeling very sleepy. And I've been learning to listen to my body, like, okay, go to sleep, take that nap. You know what I mean? And there's been other times like, I'm like, you know what? I got to get outside. I got to get out in the sunlight, and I can literally feel my body, a change in my body and how I've been, just been feeling, so been doing that. And then when you start getting into the colder seasons, your body, when you start getting to the fall and winter seasons, you'll notice that you'll start getting a little sniffles here, right? And, you may start feeling a little something in your throat, and stuff like that. And so where we've been trained is, well, you better go and get yourself some of that NyQuil. You better go get some of that other harsh chemicals that will knock you out. I can't do it. I can't do it. Benadryl is, I used to hate taking that because I would be hallucinating. I would swear up and down. I'm sitting in the living room because Benadryl was like, I would take it. Right. And what would happen is next thing I know, I'm like, how did I end up on the floor in the living room, or how did I end up in the basement? And it's like 3 a.m, I'll be waking up like, how did I end up here? That's how Benadryl is. You wake up and you don't know how you ended up there. Be all upside down somewhere and slobbering and everything, and feel like a million people done walked all up on top of you. The whole civil rights march done marched all on your body. I'm serious. I thought that I said, well, I thought I was just talking to Abraham Lincoln and Sojourner Truth, and what happened to him? I'm telling you. So, but listen, things that are supposed to help your body should not give those kind of quote unquote side effects. No, no, not at all. You should not be waking up like that or going to sleep and hallucinating and all that kind of stuff. No. Our Creator, the way He made the stuff that our body needs, it walks alongside our body. It works with our body. So, Yeah, there's some things that's going to probably make you a little bit drowsy, but not like you're going to be like you knocked out into the next dimension. Not that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so there's a lot of things out here, I'm sure that many of you are very aware of, with, just in the herbal sector and all of that. But elderberry is one that's definitely a huge standout when it comes to that. And so what we've done is we've been able found somebody that had put elderberry and sea moss, put it together, put it in a capsule. And and so you can add this to your little arsenal here, when you start feeling a little something, or even, just as a preventive, you can definitely check that out. And you can look online too and look at all the wonderful benefits of elderberry and what it does. And same thing with sea moss as well. And again, check that out. Just go to sambatree.com. Again, that is sambatree.com. You'll find that and a lot more. And as I said in that video prior to me coming live here, we're actually working on developing something else, because like we say here, if it's not out there, we're going to make it ourselves. That's called innovation. You make it. Innovation is the mother of necessity, or however. I may have butchered that up, but you get what I'm saying. And so, that's what we do here at sambatree.com. So we're not just simply we found this, let's sell this. We found that, let's sell this. No, sometimes there's things that it ain't out there. And so we, between my wife and I know my wife especially, she has a whole notebook of things that she has drawn out, and like, how can we make this and how can we do this? And so we're just going to take time, and as time goes on and we're able to get the resources that we need, we're going to put things together, and then we're going to offer it to you. That's how it should be. Again, the website is sambatree.com. So again, welcome everybody. I'm so glad that you guys can join us. I know I haven't been live here in a moment, but if you don't know by now, we just relocated. We were on the East Coast, and now we are here in the great state of Arizona. And so far, loving it very much. Right now, the temperature is starting to go down now, even though yesterday was 100 degrees. Now, you may hear 100 degrees, but I tell you, someone from the East Coast, 100 degrees out here isn't an East Coast 100 degrees. Let me just be very clear with that, because a lot of times people hear that like, oh, Lord. Now, for some of y'all who just don't like heat, it don't even matter. Anything over 80 is too hot for you. But I'm going to tell you, as someone from the East Coast, I'm speaking for me, okay? Just for me. 100 degrees for me in East Coast translation, I would say it's probably like 85. That's what it feels like, because again, you don't have that humidity factor. You know what I'm saying? But it's you can definitely, because you're at a much higher altitude, you can definitely feel the intensity of the sun, no doubt. I'm not gonna say it don't get hot out here. I'm just saying you can definitely tell the difference with versus without humidity. And so yesterday was like 100, and today I don't know what it got to, but it was still nice either way. Very nice. Talked to my mom. I think she said it was got down to 40 one day or whatever. I don't know. It was where she is in Jersey. So I was like, wow. What was the other thing? So I one of the things I do too, I fall asleep outside, y'all. Now I am loving that. Ain't no bugs at all. And I'd be out there going to sleep, y'all. I'm serious. I go to sleep. I may have my phone a little bit. After a while, I start feeling that thing come on me. I'm like, you know what? Let me put this chair back and go to sleep. Now one bug bothers me. I think I got one little mosquito bite or something. It was like nothing, but nothing. I mean, nothing at all. I'll tell you a couple of observations. When being out here is that, when I tell you, when it gets dark, I would say even during the daytime, the different communities around here, at least in the areas I've been in. I've been in Maricopa County. That covers most of the Phoenix area. I'm talking about where the houses are, right? The communities. Man, I tell you, it is quiet. That's one thing it's taken me a moment to get used to. I'm like, dang, does anybody live here? Like, it's quiet. Like, I don't hear it. Now, when you go to the local kind of like where all the stores are and all that, you see people. Yeah, I mean, people are around. But man, once you get to where the houses are, not a creature is stirring. I mean, it is quiet. And at nighttime, once it gets dark, I don't hear. I mean, ain't nan a soul out there, but I'm out there. Like, that's when I do my evening walk. And one thing I could say I can really appreciate from what I've seen out here is that they are very intentional when it comes to, if you've ever looked for houses and you notice one of the things that will come up, they'll say walking score. What's that? Anyway, walking score. And that's just basically talking about, like, you know, the way the community is built, you know, the sidewalks and things like that. Do they have a lot of sidewalks? Is it, you know, can people walk without fearing that somebody gonna hit you and all that stuff? I will say this, out here, it's outstanding. It's outstanding. I mean, sidewalks everywhere. And I could walk almost anywhere on a sidewalk. It's quite amazing. Again, for those of you who've lived out here and you're familiar with this is all new to me. Okay. So to see so many communities that are built like this, where, I mean, it's sidewalks everywhere. Because in New Jersey, I could definitely tell you, not always. Now, the older communities, yes, there's sidewalks. I'm not going to sit up here and say, you know, guys, New Jersey don't have any sidewalks. I'm not saying that. But I'm talking about, there are parts. Let's say, for example, if I was to walk from where we live to the supermarket back in New Jersey, no doubt I would be walking. Part of my walk would be on the side of the road in the emergency lane, because there aren't any, they just don't even bother building sidewalks in some places. You know, again, these places were built out, you know, for, you know, long ago. So, you know, it's going to, you know, they just kind of like, hey, listen, that's how it is. That's how it's going to be. You know what I mean? But these newer communities, I can definitely say that they're being very intentional in how they're building these sidewalks. And, you know, and I really, really like that. I really, really like that. And to see so many people out on their bikes, and, you know, when you do see people, and the big thing out here are the electric bikes and electric scooters and things like that. And yeah, so one day I'll get an electric bike. I was looking online for some, and I was like, oh, they're about $2,000. Yeah, I'll see what happens on that. Let's see. Maybe Santa will bring one this year. I don't know. But anyway, but yeah, it's very, very nice. Very, very nice. Oh, someone said my coworker kept talking about how quiet it's very quiet. Like it's very quiet. And it's not really a bad thing. It's just, you know, it's just quiet. You know, if you're someone from the East Coast, it may take a minute to get used to it, but I'm cool with it. It's better than having people out there acting a fool out there, right? Anyway, let me tell you about another observation. And yes, tonight we're going to get into a couple of things here. We're going to jump over to mybondtube.com, where I'll be showing excerpts of some videos that I want y'all to take a look at. And I'll be uploading more videos as well, you know, on the topic that we're going to be talking about. But I'll just have, like, you know, we're just going to kind of go through it real quick. So anyway, what I'm going to share is going to be a segue into this thing I came across, this story I came across. I put a post on the community page earlier, and I was like, oh, sis, now why did you have to open your mouth? So we'll get into that in a moment. But this is just another observation that I've had living out here. Now, for my Arizona people, don't get mad. Okay, don't get mad at me. Okay, this is just just a young man who just moved out here for the East Coast. I've lived out in California for about, what was it, 13 years or whatever, in Southern California. When we lived in, East Coast that's where I was born, right? So all the East Coast is, you know, the culture there. There's going to be some nuances as you go further south or you go further north or whatever. There's going to be some further, you know, some nuances. Same thing on the West Coast. When I say West Coast, I'm specifically talking California. I can't speak for the, going further north in California because I've never been there yet. But anyway, one thing that's been consistent living on the East Coast and also on the West Coast. I've also lived in Colorado too, but I'll talk about that in a moment. Is that when black folks, when we see each other, and I'm speaking more so for the men, okay, women too, but really the men, what I'm, on the East Coast, we see each other and we be like, hey, what's up? If we catch eye contact or whatever, and be like, hey, what's up? And he just keep going. It's just kind of like I don't know. It's just it's a way of connecting. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and I would say more so black Americans are like that. I can't really say for our brothers and sisters, our brothers, from the Caribbean or Africa, because I could tell right off. Sometimes I'd be like, what's up? What's up? What's up? He ain't saying that. It's like, okay. All right, maybe they didn't get the memo when they came over here. That's not all of y'all, okay, coming, but I've noticed that quite a bit, especially when I was living down in Florida. But anyway, so East Coast, we got this thing, right? When we see each other, hey, how you doing? It's just kind of a courtesy, whether if it's in the Northeast or in the Southeast, it's just kind of like a common courtesy we have, right? When I lived out in Southern California, it was pretty much the same thing. Just a common courtesy. We just say, hey, what's up? That's it. And keep it moving. It's none of this. Hey, y'all, how you doing? Child, let me tell you. I ain't talking about all of that. Okay. So nobody's really expecting a big old hold down, sit down, every time you see a black person. It's just, a basic, you don't even think about it really. Just a courtesy. Hey, what's up? Acknowledgement of each other, and that's it. But I will have to say, living out here so far, okay, being living out here, what I have noticed is I don't see that out here, and I'm gonna give you some examples. In other words, I do see a higher rate of black men with white women and black women with white men, whatever. I don't care about that. All right, that's y'all, okay? So that's your life. But what I have noticed is that when I do encounter, if it's a brother, and he's with his wife, white wife, I'm like, hey, what's up? It's like I'm not even there. I can't explain it. And it's not always the interracial thing. There's many cases I'm like, hey, what's up? Whatever. It's like they just look right through me. And I'm like, what? It's very noticeable. I'm talking about for me. Okay. So again, if we got anybody here, this is your land, you're native to this, to Arizona or whatever. Maybe that's nothing you've experienced. I'm talking about for me. I've noticed this quite a bit. And so, but a lot of times it's like, hey, what's up? What's up? Hey, bro, how you doing? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's like they just look right through you. And I'm like, what in the world? Now, and it was a couple of times, like even on the trail that I walk on, I'll see when you do see a black person. You remember there was a video that was going around. We actually posted it I think on our shorts. I think this was out in Southern California, somewhere in the hills. And there were some black folks that were walking, doing their hike out in the mountains somewhere. And it was this older black man, well-fit black man. He was like, hey, how you doing? And people were like, when black folks see each other in places that you least expected, that kind of thing, right? And be honest with you, I'm not expecting that, okay? That was an exception, okay? I'm not expecting that at all. But what I'm not expecting is when I see one of us, I'm like, hey, sis, how you doing? Hey, bro. And it's like, every time, I'm telling you, every time. I don't know, maybe my breath is stink. Maybe it is that stink. Okay, maybe that's the case. I don't know. Maybe there's some subliminal messages on my shirt that says, don't talk to that Negro, whatever you do. I really don't know, but it's very noticeable. And there was a couple of times that stuck out to me. I think this one actually happened the same day. There was a black man, young black man with his, I don't know if it was his girlfriend, his wife, whatever. And yeah, I don't know what it was. And so I was like, hey, how you doing? Right. I was like, hey, what's up? The white girl that was with him, she was the first one that says, hey, how you doing? And then he was like, oh, hey, hi, hey, how you doing? Like, I wasn't even there. I was like, hey, bro, hold on. You know, I didn't say that, but I was like, the heck is that? And then there was another time I see, it was a black woman. She was walking with her white friend or whatever. And again, I was like, hey, how you doing? The white person was like, hey, how you doing? The black woman, she was like, and kept it moving. I was like, what the heck is this? When we moved, when we got into this neighborhood where we are now, man, I tell you, people were pulling outside the road. I mean, when they saw us, we were like bringing some stuff in because we're like gradually bringing things in. I mean, neighbors were mostly white. They were coming, hey, how you doing? So, they were just asking us all kind of, not asking us. I take that back. It was just the welcome to the community kind of talk, right? Very nice. I mean, just overboard, like, wow. You know what I mean? I mean, they were very overboard and extremely nice. Extremely nice. Now, I know some of y'all about like that. Yeah, they were really checking you out. That's what they were doing. Yeah, that's probably some of that too. But for the most part, my experience with the other man has been very pleasant. I mean, I can tell you numerous times where people have gone out of their way. Hey, like on the trail, for example. Oh my goodness. Like if for those of you who walked on trails or you done hiking, it don't matter where you go. There's a common trail courtesy. Like when you pass somebody, you just acknowledge and say, hey, what's up? The white folks will be like, want to stop and tell you, okay, now when you go, there's a video that's going around where they're actually pointing that out. They're like, okay, be careful up there. Watch your step. And, hey, and just be talking and just, we'd be up there laughing. And I met it was a man that was older than me that was on the trail. He had his GoPro on his chest. I was like, hey, bro, you doing like what I'm doing? And he started talking. He was like, yeah, you don't film. He's giving me tips on how to do YouTube videos and stuff. And I'm listening. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, yeah, because I was just hiking on this, on this trail here the other day. And, and he was asking me about the trail and we talking and just going back for just that's how it's been. But anyway, here people were just like, yeah, just telling me, hey, you need any help? Hey, if you need help, I'll stop what I'm doing. I'll help you. Man, it's really something. It's really something. And so that's the other side. So that's my experience that I've seen. Now, we have a neighbor. I doubt seriously that this neighbor is watching. But when we were first checking this house out, I immediately noticed that the neighbor, people next to us, it was an interracial couple, black man has a white wife. Again, y'all, when I tell you I don't really care about stuff like that, I don't. In other words, I have my preference. There's a preference I tell our people is you stay with your own people. But I don't hold that against anybody. You ain't going to hear me talking about if you marry someone that's not black, don't even come on my channel. I don't do that, okay? That's not, no, I'm not like that, okay? But anyway, but like I told you, all these different neighbors that have come out and just like, hey, just giving me tips and pointers and telling me where everything is and all this stuff. This dude literally will drive past me and not say a doggone thing. Now, to be fair, I ain't exactly chase him down either. You know what I'm saying? But I just find that really something. And it's not something that I don't know. It's not something that I'm like mad about. For me, I'm more analytical. I more or less want to understand the why in that. I mean, I have my ideas and we can guess and throw that around a little bit. But yeah, it's really something. That's what I've really been noticing. I've been seeing a lot of that here. But it's not just Arizona. I did notice that a little bit in Colorado, too. It's like, I don't know. And one of the thoughts that did come to mind is, on the real, you do have numbers of black folks who did grow up in the Midwestern states who really didn't have a whole lot of interaction with other black folks outside of their family, and so Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I mean, I could definitely sit up here and speculate, but I'm like, wow. Yeah, it's really something. It's really something. Let me look at some of these comments here. Let me see. Juanea said, I had a difficult time with folks in California not speaking when I first moved here. It doesn't happen as much now. Yeah, I think it's something, you just got to get into the vibe of the area, and then, but also, demographics do change. Why someone say it sounds like the movie Get Out? Yeah, it better not be that. I got something for him. What she said here too, she said, Dwayne, it's guilty tripping, and I always say that they are embarrassed to be with someone that's not black. Yeah, it's usually us. It's usually the white person that speaks for. I'm just saying. Someone else said here, they said the brothers are ashamed that they are out of order with that PC half the time. Plus, they're blocking just in case she might want to check you. Yeah, that could be it. I don't know. Like I said, you can have some fun speculating on that one. I don't know. It could be. I don't know. Let's see. Teen Truth says South Phoenix has a larger black population, and I usually get the nod greeting from brothers. Okay, well that's good. Yeah, that's why I said I'm just going to give it time. I'm not going to sit up here and say all of Arizona is like this. Stay out. No, it's just I only been here for a little over a month, so you got to be fair with that. And but yeah, I mean and also too, I have come across some black folks who've been very nice and kind, but it's very noticeable. Once you get out of, I'm guessing the South Phoenix area, and that's when it's a little bit different. But it's not. I haven't come across anything. How can I say? Get out of here. Darky, that kind of stuff. You're gonna find some of that a little bit everywhere. But I haven't come across any of that. People that I've come across for the most part have been very friendly and kind and extremely helpful if I needed help with something and all of that. So we'll see, and I drive like I got some sense, you know what I'm saying? And if I see the cop, I'll wave and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? If I'm out, that's the thing too. When you see that the local culture here at a certain time, there's literally nobody out, in the communities, at least walking around. I ain't gonna have my black behind out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to give them a reason. I mean, I'll walk some places, but I'm gonna make sure I keep it local and, and just keep my phone with me. You know what I'm saying? But I haven't had any problems. I haven't had any problems thus far. I'm just really liking the state. Looking forward to taking some trips up north, where we get to see, experience some of the northern part of the state where it's a lot cooler there. And you get to see, a whole different situation up there in terms of the climate and the environment and things like that. So we'll be doing some very, very nice videos of that as well. So just something to look forward to. So anyway, let's move on. This story is a good segue to this next story that we're going to talk about. There's a, Israel, as you know, you got the Israel Palestinian thing going on right now. And, there's a lot that people are out here saying or speculating. And, one of the things that really stuck out to me was when I was on Twitter, and, I thought I did a pretty good job in kind of clearing out Twitter, because I used to get a lot of mess on Twitter. And I was like, man, I don't want it. So I had to either unfollow, unsubscribe, block, mute folks. Cause I'm like, I don't want to see any of that. Y'all just be running your mouths about nothing. This story going on. If I see another video or post come on my timeline about this woman in Atlanta, rejecting her date because he wanted to take her to the Cheesecake Factory. I'm like, how many videos are we going to do on that? I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? It's like stuff like that. So anyway, Twitter is a little bit different for me because I really try to stick to the news, people who are really clicked in and in the know, that kind of thing. And then, some other things. But anyway, You know, and of course, during the COVID stuff, there were, you know, medical people and stuff that I was following that were really on it when it came to, you know, the shot, the jab, you know, that kind of thing, and giving us the real side, giving us the truth of the matter on what's going on Twitter. But all of a sudden it was like overnight, I started, when this whole thing broke out in Israel, these folks, man, were acting like they lost their ever living mind. Oh my goodness. Like, whatever you got to do, we got to support Israel. Team Israel. We got to stand with Israel, y'all. No matter what, we got to stand with Israel now. If you're for truth, then that means you're for Israel. If you're for the lie, that means you're for the other man. And it's like, whoa, how did y'all just jump on this? Literally, it was like overnight. And so I was like, wait a minute, it's like a possession that's going. I said, I'm glad. Did they do the bird box switch? You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting up, I was like, whoa, what is going on? It was like the bird box switch. You got to go to Israel. You got to support, you know, all that. I was like, whoa, okay, all right, okay. You know, and so, and then we did the video, was it last week on Stoudemire, getting out there talking about, you know, hey, you Black Lives Matter people, you know, it's a shame that y'all not out here supporting Israel and all this stuff. Blank you for not supporting. And I was saying, even in that video, anytime when people are calling out Black Lives Matter, what they're really doing is calling out black folks. Because see, Black Lives Matter is the straw man that was created by this system to represent people like you and me. Now, of course, we know that they don't speak for us, but don't tell that to the mob out there on social media, because they just think that all black people are, you know, team Black Lives Matter, just like people think that all Palestinians are team Hamas or team ISIS. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, these are puppet groups that were set up by these other people, you know, to try to represent the whole. There's a lot of Palestinian people that ain't with Hamas or with these other groups out here. They're not with those groups. But this system will set up these groups to try to be the mouthpiece of the whole. And it's just a false representation, and it's the lazy amongst us that will buy into that. Well, you know, like I said again, so Black Lives Matter, anytime when you hear people say, yeah, what about Black Lives Matter, that kind of thing, what that is really code for, what about black people? That's what they're really saying. Well, there is a young lady in Israel who, I remember this was during the Obama administration. She was voted Miss Israel, and she's actually Ethiopian. And, you know, you have the Ethiopian Jews there. One day I am going to do a video where we're going to talk about the history of Ethiopia and the Ethiopian Jewish thing and all of that. It's quite amazing. And it's going to take some time to kind of go through it once you start looking at the actual history, because a lot of times there are a lot of people out there that think that Ethiopia started as a Judeo kingdom. It did not. It wasn't a Jewish kingdom, so to speak. That is something that came a little bit later. Ethiopia was actually converted to that. So, but we'll get into that another day. But anyway, so you have, you know, over time, you know, you've had, I think this was what, in the 80s, in the 90s, maybe. You remember the flights, the Ethiopian, the flights, Israel, they were sending planes over to Ethiopia and saying, we're going to rescue. These are the people coming back to the homeland. Oh, hallelujah. It's happening. It's happening. All of Israel is coming together. Even from Ethiopia, they're coming back, y'all. They're coming back. Well, they came back, and yeah, they treated them like second-class citizens for a very long time. They were giving women, they were making these Ethiopian women sterile, you know, trying to prevent them, giving them shots so that they could not have children. They were treating them like whole second-class citizens, for real. And then there was other darker skinned people that were trying to make their way over there too. They was like, oh, no. There's too many of y'all trying to come over here now. This is the Holy Land. This ain't y'all land. This is the Holy Land. No. no way. So, but over time, while you still have some of that going on, you also have quite numbers of them that are part of the military. They are kind of making their way within the society, so to speak, of Israel. When we took our trip to Israel some years ago, I'm gonna be honest with you. Most of the people that I saw that had darker skin like me, they had a broom in their hand or they appeared to be homeless. That was about 10 years ago. Okay. So what it is now you have some of them that are part of the military, they're doing other things as well. But yeah. And if we were not clearly Americans, I know that the treatment would have been a lot different. Well, I will say this, on our last day, when we got to the airport, we made it. We barely made it. But this, was it IDF, the Israeli Defensive, Israeli Defensive Force. They have them doing the checkpoints, because when you go to Israel, I mean, all these folks were walking around with guns. All of them are. I mean, you go to the hotel, you got folks. I mean, they are packing. But I don't feel any kind of way with that. When I see that, it's fine. Just don't be pointing them my way. But we got to the airport. This Israeli woman, she was like, "Why did y'all come here late like this? Don't you know your plane was?" She was talking to me like that. Now, I'm gonna tell you, it took everything in me. It took everything in me not to go off on that one, because I was like, ho. But I realized, I was like, wait a minute, I'm in Israel now. I'm in Israel. Let me chill. Okay, don't be spitting on me now. But I was like, let me chill. Let me just get my family on this plane, and let me just get on the plane. Okay, let me just do that. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, she talking all crazy talk to us like that, like, and just saying all kinds of stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? Okay, all right. So anyway, yeah, they still got a lot of that going on here. But anyway, in the midst of that, Israel, for PR purposes, said we're going to elect a Ethiopian woman to represent us on the world stage. And that's what they did. This woman that I'm about to show you, she was voted Miss Israel some years ago. Well, anyway, recently she did a video, and she's basically calling out, wink, wink, Black Lives Matter people. Okay. And so let me show you this video here, and let me pull this up here. Let me find it here where that thing is. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me get this up. All right. Here you go. All right, so this is, I'm going to bring up her Instagram here. Hold on. Okay, so this is her Instagram here. I'm not the best with names, y'all, but her name is, is this thing bright up? Her name is Tatia Yenu. Tatia Yenu, okay? And she posted this on her Instagram, and it was going, and you notice already, this is how she's portraying the Palestinian people. Now, just to be clear here, I'm not taking anybody's side in this conflict, okay? So let's be 100%. I'm about the truth 100%, because like I already told you already, both sides have a long history of enslaving our people. So you will be a fool to be out here trying to like, I'm Team Palestine. Nope. Y'all gonna figure that one out, okay? I'm gonna sit right on this side here and be on the grill somewhere. You let me know how y'all work that out, but just leave us out of your mouth. But they can't do it. They always got to bring black folks into it. Black Americans, they always got to bring us into it. We be sitting up here minding our business. Next thing they know, they got to bring us into it. Anyway, so let me pull up this video here. And this is, it's actually two of them I'm going to show you. This is the first one.
For that,
sorry,
I'm shocked. So shocked by the response of Black Lives Matter.
Hold on, I get it.
Regarding. Do you remember that? I'm shocked. So shocked by the response of Black Lives Matter regarding the terror attack situation here in Israel. Remember you screaming in the street, I can breathe. I can breathe. So I want to inform you that right now there is Israeli hostages in Gaza. Babies, children, mothers, women, entire family who cannot breathe. They were kidnapped, raped by the terror organization Hamas. Do you think killing is enough for them? They attack people at the party near to the Gaza Strip. They kidnap women. They kidnap girls who are not started their life yet. They rape them, slaughtering their soul. Hamas is ISIS. Pray for us. Pray for Israel. Because we can breathe. I can breathe.
Okay, let me stop it there. So anyway, so that's one video there. Let me get this other video up here right quick. And then we'll chat about it real quick. Hold on, let me get this up. This other one here.
My children, your children, everyone's children. Hamas doesn't care. They murder babies. They kidnap your souls. They target people of all colors, religions, and genders. We are not safe. You are not safe. No one is safe from Hamas. If you promote Hamas, you promote the destruction of your child's future. Stop Hamas. Hamas is ISIS.
Okay.
My children, your children, everyone's children.
Take note of this.
Hamas doesn't care.
Listen.
They murder babies. They kidnap your souls. They target people of all colors, religions, and genders. We are not
Why
safe.
all the colors look the same though? I don't see no black folks there.
No one is safe from Hamas.
She couldn't even find any pictures of black folks. They target people of all colors, and she up there trying to. Can I find a black person anywhere? Can we go to AI? Maybe I'll do a Google image search. You know, I'll get. Let me do a Google image search. Let me see. She couldn't even pull up a black person on Google image search to put in that little collage that she just did. They target everybody, regardless of race, regardless of gender, and all of this stuff. And then we gotta rise up against them. Hamas is ISIS. I have a video, and I'll show you this. And this is further proof. Again, I'll just show you this right here on the screen. And y'all, I apologize again. I'm gonna get my lighting together here on this thing. So this is, again, so she got Martin Luther King. So I'm just trying to tell you that they are trying to reel in black folks into this thing. You know, because if you play it, and it's the whole I have a dream speech, right? It's the whole I have a dream, and you know, and then she says, we have dreams too. We got dreams too, and we need you to help us, you know, all this stuff, right? And so let me pull this up here. So, you know, my natural mind, I'm saying, okay, well, let me take a look and see who she married to, because I know she married. And I said, let me just look. Let me see if the math is math in here. Let me just see. Ah, there you go. That makes a whole lot of sense there now, don't it? Now, again, you can marry whomever you want. I don't care. But it's this never-ending pattern that I see where you have people like this that will, in many cases, not all, that feel like they have to talk down to black folks. And here you go. So I'm going to show you, because it's interesting, and someone brought up a very good point. It was a couple points. They said, where was she when Kyrie Irving was getting all that heat? I didn't. Did she say anything when Kyrie Irving was getting all that heat at all? Probably not. Or did she bring up the fact that and we did a video on this a while back. Did she bring up the fact that many of the police departments here in the United States, the police departments that have a very long record of being anti-black, are trained by Israeli police forces? Yes. Many police departments, local police departments, will fly their officers to Israel to learn how to police people and how to treat people, how to do and conduct arrests. They're learning from the people, the soldiers, the officers in Israel, which have an abysmal record when it comes to, how they police when they're dealing with the Palestinian people. Yes, exactly. So did you have anything to say about that, Miss Israel? Did you stand up for that? Could you breathe on that one? Okay, so anyway, but there's another point that I do want to raise too. And all you got to do is go right here on YouTube. Because I tell you, when I saw this, it brought up so many different things that I could say. And I promised myself I am going to keep it extremely nice. Okay, because there's a lot of things I could say too. I could go there. I can click into high school mode very quickly. Yours truly was voted class clown. Okay, because I was that guy. All right. So, but my mouth has been renewed. Okay. So, but I tell you what, that's why I tell people, sometimes people out here, they want to talk sideways. I said, listen, I'm getting older too. See that wall where I would just kind of be like, oh, I ain't going to say nothing. I ain't going to say. See, when you get older now, that wall start deteriorating. And next thing you know, you like, you know what? Come on in the room. Because you're going to get, I'm telling you, I go there very quickly to folks. That's why folks, I'm telling you, I'll just say this too before we switch on this one. I tell people all the time, listen, people will come to our comment section and talk all kind of sideways and say stuff on, shady stuff. And I'll give it right back to them. And they'll come back and say, I wasn't expecting that. And, oh, man, did you really have to say that? I'm like, hold on. Wait a minute now. You came to me and talking shade. What you think I was going to do? Well, brother, now we ain't going to do that here now. This is the church, and we don't do that now. Okay, so, brother, if you got a question now, make sure you pose the question. No, if you coming up in here, I don't care if you man, woman, child, you identify as whatever, it don't matter to me. You come up talking sideways, I'm going to come back to you sideways. It's just how it works here, okay? And that's it. Now, if you want to take it down and say, you know what? All right, I get it. Let me ask my question. Let me make my comment. Okay, fine. And then see, a lot of times, like I said, again, people don't expect that because they think I ain't going to do that. But no, I'm going to get right back with you. I'm going to get right back with you. And so people will misinterpret that and say, you always shooting people down that don't agree with you. No, I don't agree with people talking when you are being shady and you're not even addressing the main point. I got problems with that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I've had people come up in here, these old dusty church women that now wearing headscarves now and saying they're Hebrew. They now want to come in here lying, just outright lying, talking about, I heard you talking about saying the Most High. You got things to say about the name the Most High, and you're using that to sell things, and that's saying, you hypocrite. I said, first of all, you're a liar. Yes, I said it. You're a liar, number one. And number two, you can't point to any example where we said the Most High and go buy something. So stop lying, number one. That's one of the law, statutes, and commandments that you be droning on about. But yet you're going to come in my door and lying? Oh, no, it don't work that way. I'm going to call you out on that. And that's how that works. Now, we can have a wonderful conversation, and just be adults and just go, if we can agree, we can disagree. It don't matter. But when you come in the door lying, that's why I've been very aware of it. There's one person that was on a social media platform. Someone brought to my attention. They were like, yeah, they over there talking some whatever it was. And they said, I actually have a personal relationship with them. I was like, who's this negress? I don't know her. So you got people out there talking about I got a personal relationship with them, and I've been trying to I don't know you. We don't trust me. The people who have a personal relationship with us, we know them and they know us. It's just that simple. And that circle is extremely small. So I'm gonna tell you up front, if there's anybody out here running their mouth talking about they got some inside scoop on us, they lying, because we don't be out here running our mouths, unlike a lot of people. That's why I say a lot of times I just sit back and listen to folks. I'll be taking notes and like, yep, let them keep running their mouth, yep. And at the right time, I got my list right here. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't know why people think that social media, nobody records anything. I do. I just be sitting right there. Yep, keep running your mouth. Yep, yep. Anyway, so that's just a little commercial break. I don't know. I just took off on that one. But anyway, it brought up this, getting back to this Miss Israel lady. It brought up something else that I thought was quite interesting. And what she said was this. Not what she said, but what it brought up was the fact that I said, wait a minute. It seemed like I think, aren't Ethiopians the one that be going around talking about they ain't black? Okay, so I said, let me go on Mr. YouTube, sir. Ethiopians not black. Let me do a search on that. So I did. And I came up with at least 2 examples, but there are more. Oh yeah. Now I've come across quite a number of people who are Ethiopian, and I'm not saying anything. They're nice. I mean, it's just like meeting anybody else. But in many cases, one thing that does stick out is that they make a strong distinction between being Ethiopian and that whole like we're one and we're all. No, I don't see too many Ethiopians riding on that train. And that's all right. But don't come running to us when all of a sudden you need help. You understand? Don't be pulling up Martin Luther King quotes and all this other stuff all the time. No. You need to go to Haile Selassie and pull on that. You know what I'm saying? Don't be coming to us. Why couldn't she do a video for the people in Ethiopia? Shame on y'all for not standing up for Israel. No, she got to come running to us. Why? We ain't do nothing. That's y'all. Anyway, let's go on. I don't know these people. Anyway, let me, where is it right here? Okay, here we go. It was 2 videos. This is the first one here. And it's probably going to bring up an ad, so part the ad.
Do you identify as black or as Ethiopian?
Definitely Ethiopian.
You Ethiopian first, and then, you don't consider yourself black.
Oh, sorry, y'all.
Trying to catch one of the seagulls that kept stealing.
Oh my gosh, what is going on here? Hold on.
Kept incredibly still until one of them came.
Nobody talking about no seagulls. Hold on, it's something on my screen here. It's not. Okay, let's go on. Okay, there we go. Now I can do it again. Where did that Ethiopian go? Hold on, let me see where he went. Oh, here it is.
Do you identify as black or as Ethiopian?
Definitely Ethiopian.
You Ethiopian first, and then, you don't consider yourself black at all?
No, I've never considered myself as a black. Because I don't know. I mean, I was born and raised back home, so I don't really know this concerns of the world, being black, white.
Right. Do you identify as black or as Ethiopian?
Oh, well, that's one, and then here's another one here too.
You consider yourself black or Ethiopian? How do you identify?
Well, black is a concept. It's a made-up construct. It doesn't exist.
Okay.
Because I'm not black. I'm brown.
Right.
So they use the color black to categorize us and tell us how to live, how to talk, how to exist. But I choose to identify with being Ethiopian.
Nice.
But that's a choice, because I can choose to identify with whatever I want.
Right.
People having issues with us not identifying with black.
Oh.
Some choose to identify with black, some don't. But my problem is, before they told me I was black, I didn't know I was black. Before they put these words on me, I didn't know what I was.
Now, listen, I know some of y'all will have a whole lot of words for these 2 gentlemen here. I'm not going to waste the time, but I will say this. Listen, but that's a real thing. And it goes back to what I was saying as far as this Miss Israel lady that we were just talking about earlier. I find it very interesting that, you know, she had no problem coming, you know, calling us out, black folks here in the Americas, and saying, why aren't y'all saying anything about us or whatever? And y'all should be saying more and all this other stuff, and using the coded language of Black Lives Matter. And again, I emphasize Black Lives Matter, for those who may not be aware, does not represent the voice of black people. I'll say it 2 more times. Black Lives Matter does not represent the voice of black people. Black Lives Matter does not represent the voice of black people. Black Lives Matter is an organization that was established by the Jewish people. Okay, they established it, they funded it, and they got the people that they wanted in it. And all of these other Fortune 500 companies dump millions and millions of dollars in there. Black folks have not seen a dime of that. Okay, so they do not represent us. You don't see me going around saying that Hamas represents all of the Muslim world, or, you know, the Palestinian people. That would be insane for me to even suggest such a thing. Well, likewise, it's the same thing for Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is an organization that excludes the plight of black men, and they will use the bodies of dead black men to push their agendas. We've talked about this many, many times. So they do not represent us at all. But again, you have people like this woman here who wants to use her platform to call out black folks, but we ain't buying it over here. Okay, we are not buying it over here. Again, this is not our fight. This is not our war, and that's y'all stuff. We're going to get into it though. Okay, we're going to get into it and talk about some of the details of what exactly is going on by their own words. Okay, you don't need me sitting up here giving you, oh, the spirit is really telling me what really is going on. No. We're going to let them talk tonight. Okay, we're going to let them talk tonight. All right, so let me go to, let me get out of this here, and let me jump over to our community post here. A couple of posts that we put up here recently that I just want to chat about very quickly. And then we're going to get into something. I hope you guys will hang on to this. We're going to take a short break after that. Then we're going to jump over to mybondtube.com, where I'm going to show you excerpts of different videos. It's going to be a combination of mybondtube.com videos I've uploaded there, and also videos that I have saved and bookmarked on Twitter. I'm not showing you everything, but I'll show you quite a bit. You have a lot of, okay, you know, I'll just get right to the post here, because I explained that in the post here. All right, let's go here. All right, so this is a post I did a day or two ago. Okay, and this is regarding the Amari Stoudemire video that we did, and what I told you then. I said when he first did that video, I said, you watch. I said, you're gonna have other Hebrews out here throwing him hard under the bus. Depart from me, I never knew you. And sure enough, that's exactly depicting him as a coon, a sellout, doing all kinds of stuff. But anyway, let me read to you what I wrote. Okay, I said, as we predicted in one of our latest videos, Amari Stoudemire was going to be tossed under the bus by his own people for standing up for the state of Israel. Again, more convenient pivoting, and this post will lay out the details to prove that claim. Keep reading. And I said, as it was pointed out, when Stoudemire took a trip to Israel. See, now all of a sudden people got amnesia now. I don't. I remember this. When Stoudemire took a trip to Israel to claim what he believed is his true heritage, Hebrews here in the States could not stop using clips of that video enough as confirmation of the awakening. What completely escapes people is the fact that the people of Dimona, the community he visited, from day one has had a very close working relationship with the Israeli government. In other words, they are not over there claiming to be the real Jews. Some are even enlisted with the IDF, the Israeli Defensive Force. Now, they're claiming to be Jews. Let me just be a little clear. But they are also saying that the people that are in that land now are also Jews. They're just saying that they're just part of it. You understand what I'm saying? The people of Dimona. See, A lot of times people, you remember not too long ago, there was a news story that came out about the Israeli government saying that they were going to toss out some of the people of Dimona. And then I noticed there was a couple of channels saying, see y'all, they tossing out these people, they tossing them out. They tossing out our people. They was having all that stuff, but they always leave out the details. See, we're about the details here. Okay. So we did a whole video talking about what was really going on in Dimona. All right. And you can check that out. But I have some of it here. I'll talk about it here. And I put there, I said, read, it's a book. You can get it on Amazon. It's called Israel's Secret Cult by Mahalia Goodman. Hope I'm saying her name right. She's deceased now. She was a former member of the Dimona group and was very detailed in her account. She was extremely detailed. She even mentions how some are enlisted with the IDF. But again, your average YouTube Hebrew teacher won't point that out. Instead, they will continue to boost the image of Dimona as proof to their viewers that they are the real Hebrews. But they will not go into the details. You can have there are videos out now that get into the details of what I'm talking about, survivors of what was going on in Dimona. I'm talking about child stuff, all kinds of mess. And in some cases, I don't blame the people of Israel trying to throw some of them out, because you got that kind of stuff going on. It's a member of that group that was doing videos on us talking about they are the Satan and all this other nonsense. And they, every now and then, she'll do her roundabout, goes around and start calling out different people, because the Lord done said, and I'm say, go sit down somewhere. You got all that, you in the land, but you got time for all of that. But anyway, so let's move on here. And we got paperwork on her too, man. I don't be playing. When I see folk acting crazy like that, I'm like, let me look some things. Let me see okay. Anyway, and these folk, you find out they are into some stuff, man, for real. Anyway, and I said, as much as I disagree with Stoudemire's theology, I actually have more respect for him than those who are out here now throwing him under the bus. Why? Because he's taken the Hebraic belief system to the next logical step. Full-blown Judaism. And that's what it is. You can call yourself a Hebrew all you want, and that's fine, but that ideology is rooted in Judaism. You can't separate that out. And it's so comical to sit back and to see people thinking that they can kind of separate Judaism from being a Hebrew or Hebrew Israelite. You can't. The foundation of Hebrew Israelite is Judaism. That's the foundation of it. So let's get into it. I give you some sources that you can look on your own proving that. Okay. And I said, why doesn't it make sense? I said, it's become comical to watch how Hebrews are out here comparing him to a coon and sellout, while at the same time, these same people will greet you with Shalom Mishpachah. Make that make sense. And then I said, why doesn't it make sense? I'll go through this real quick. I said, I'll provide you with two sources that you'll need to check out. The first one I will point to is a paper titled Black Culture and Black Zion, African-American Religious Encounters with Judaism. It's from 1790 to 1930. It's a very interesting paper. It's just an overview and has a lot of references on there that you can check out on your own. Okay. And it says, in this paper, she provides a very thorough historical overview of the origins of the Hebrew movement here in the States. Arnold Josiah Ford was one of the most influential individuals during the early Harlem days of the Hebrew movement. And then these are quotes from the actual paper. Okay. It says in 1923, he accepted the rabbinate, hope I'm saying that right, of Beth B'nai Abraham, House of the Sons of Abraham, a black Hebrew congregation in Harlem, fluent in Hebrew and Yiddish. You heard that, right? Fluent in Hebrew and Yiddish. All right. Ford studied the Torah and the Talmud. What does it say here? Under the tutelage of some white Jews and who were liberal patrons of the modest network of integrated synagogues and Hebrew schools in New York City. Bet your YouTube teachers ain't talk about that. Oh, they can do whole breakdowns on different things and what these other people out here doing, but for some reason they leave this part out. I wonder why. Anyway, let's continue. Ford would eventually devote his full energy to his immigration plan, which had developed partly as a natural extension of his Pan-African sensibilities and partly out of his ardent desire to establish a black Jewish homeland. Very intriguing stuff when you read the history of what was going on in Harlem at that time. It was a hodgepodge of different movements that was coming out. One of which that really took a leap was the Hebrew movement. The Hebrew movement was in existence prior to that, but it was on a very small scale and it was very loose, but it wasn't anything of, but it was something that really traces back. I would say when you first start hearing about that, it was like in the late 1800s. It was at that point when black folks were starting to make the claim that we were actually the people of the book. Prior to that, black people were not saying that. You will not find that. We were making comparisons to ourselves of the people of the book, but we were never saying we were those people until you get to the late 1800s. Okay, we talked all about that. We pulled out every receipt on that to prove that. Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to talk about that. All right, so let's move on here. Okay, I say in short, the American Hebrew movement was bankrolled in part by white Jews. Interesting how that gets left out, isn't it? Ford also received Torah and Talmud training under them. For our second source, I will point you to the book Chosen People by Jacob Dorman. Here was some interesting excerpts. The amount of Judaic ritual in Matthew's church and the importance of Jewishness to his faith rose as the number of white Jews in Harlem declined. In 1923, he celebrated his first Passover. In 1929, his synagogue was receiving some financial aid from white synagogues. And in 1930, Bishop Matthew celebrated Rosh Hashanah with 6 Jews of European origins among the 175 congregants. In the same year, the congregation purchased a Torah. Interesting how all of this stuff gets left out, isn't it? Why nobody do no videos on that? So the foundation of the whole, what we call this, the Black Hebrew movement, it was started in part financed by the very people that a lot of people today are saying are the fake ones. Now, again, I'm going to ask you, for the ones that are very quiet now, but you got a lot of mouth, why is it that you never bring this up? This is history that's been out here. Anyway, let's move on. The passage continues. What made Bishop and then Rabbi Matthew Black Israelism different from many other varieties of Black Israelism that arose in Memphis, New Orleans, Philadelphia, Chicago, Jamaica, South Africa, and even New York in later decades was the fact that Matthew, like Rabbi Ford before him, adopted the ritual forms of Judaism to augment his Israelite identity. The congregation retained a belief in the divinity of Jesus, but began to incorporate elements of Jewish worship, including the use of Jewish prayers such as the Shema. How many times you've heard people say, Shema Israel? You know, black folks, we had to put a little beat to it, like, Shema Israel, you know, whatever. We put our little spin to it. We didn't come up with that. That's their stuff. Okay, I'm just reading it. Okay, so anyway, the Shema and the observance of holidays such as Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. A newspaper story from 1929 entitled Negro Sect in Harlem Mixes Jewish and Christian Religions described how Matthew ate kosher meat, wore a skull cap and a prayer shawl, and used some Hebrew. However, the congregation thought of Jesus either as a prophet of the rank of Moses or as a divine, and the service itself resembled that of a sanctified church more than a Jewish synagogue. Because, you know, black folks, our history, that's what we did. You know, we would just, it's just like in our cooking, you know, we we took what was given to us and we made the best of it, most of it. So you'll find even in our recipes and our cooking and stuff, we just blended whatever we could and just came up with our own unique thing. Well, the same thing was when you get to the spirituality that we practice here. When you look at voodoo, or I should say hoodoo, that was practiced here, that's a combination of Christianity, Catholicism, and also African spirituality that's all put in a blender, and there you go. You understand what I'm saying? So likewise, the same thing was the case of the Hebrew movement. It was a combination of Hebrewism. It was a combination of Judaism. And it was also a combination of some other things that was going on in Harlem, which mainly was the rise of the black church, right? There was things so you had elements of that as well. But wait, there's more. Let's read on. These are just a few excerpts I provided here, but if you take the time to read these, the sources in full, along with their own source material, you will see very clearly that those today claiming to be Hebrews are standing on the shoulders of white Jewish instruction and financing. There was another thing here too. Shoot, where is it? I thought I copied it in here. Anyway, the excerpt I was looking for, maybe it's in another post. But the excerpt I was looking for, I didn't put that in here. It was, they used it's also a blending of Judaic mysticism. The Freemasonry is baked in to the Hebrew landscape. This is all part of the foundation. And this is something I always say on this platform. If you want to understand something, you always go to the foundation. You always go to the root. And so, yeah, when you really start looking into this, you will see for yourself that, yes, all of this was blended into this whole landscape. All right. Now, I know there's some people that are listening right now. No, it ain't. Well, you ain't doesn't cancel out history. That's what it is. This is stated history. And that's why I encourage you, get that book for yourself, because they go into a lot of detail and give you all kinds of receipts that you can look up on your own. But anyway, let me close this out here. I said, so while people like Stoudemire and Nassim Black, that's Nassim Black, he's a rapper, a black guy who's a rapper as well, but he's fully converted to Judaism, right? That's him right here that you see on your screen there. I said, so while these individuals can be conveniently scapegoat as sellouts, the historical record proves that they are staying consistent with their chosen identity as Black Hebrews, while those doing the scapegoating are constantly making narrative adjustments. And then I just said, just as a side note, those who are now throwing Stoudemire under the bus will now have to revisit the Igbo Limba narrative. They will tell you themselves that they are genetically, I'm talking about the Igbo and Limba people, they will tell you themselves they are genetically tied to the Jews who are in Israel today. And just like the Hebrews of Harlem, they too are receiving training and financing from white Jews. Again, it's amazing how this stuff gets left out. But we've looked into this. But yeah, we did a video on this guy here out of his own mouth. They will tell you that we are genetically tied to these people. But, it's the Negroes in America say, well, no, they got it wrong. They don't know what they're talking about or whatever. Okay. That's their history. Okay. I ain't going to say that. If that's what you want to believe, that's you, then that's y'all. But that's what's out here. But you can't talk around that or ignore as if it's not existing. Yeah, that's ultimately where this train leads. The Hebrew train leads. It leads to full conversion of Judaism. So you or I don't have, as much as we may say, you don't like those people, you don't like what they do. You can say that all you want, but at the end of the day, you're saying their same words. You're saying their same prayers. You're reading their manuals. You're dressing like them. You're doing pretty much everything like they're doing. But at the same time, you're saying they're fake. Now, in practical terms, I'm asking, please make that make sense to me, because that makes absolutely no sense to me at all. It doesn't. I'm just saying, and I'm saying that as someone who used to be in that number. All right. So anyway, the second post here, very quickly, I'll get through this. And this is going to be a segue to what we're going to be, the videos, clips I'm going to show this evening. Let me check my time here and see how we're doing here. And then we're going to take a short break here. Okay, we're doing okay. Let's see here. I said, what I think is needed is a fresh cup of perspective. I said, by nature, we go to people we perceive as the experts on certain topics. If we want to learn about money management, we go to individuals with an established history of managing money successfully. If we want to learn about buying real estate, we go to those who have done it successfully. But who exactly do we go to when it comes to deciphering the very coded language of the Bible? Here's a clue. You go to the people who wrote it. And as we have established here, ladies and gentlemen, we put it very plainly. The last broadcast we did, I opened the phone lines and I asked people, prove or show us the people within your family that have distinctive and very unique Hebrew culture practices that have been passed down into your family, that were passed down from your grandparents. It has nothing to do with Africa, but it's everything Hebrew. We sat up there. Many of y'all was on the phone, was on live with me. Now one person called. We had two people call, and they were just, saying some kind things or just adding to the conversation. But now one person called and said, yeah, my grandmother, she taught me the Shema prayer. Now one. I was waiting for people to call in and tell me about nothing. But you can go through, there's all kinds of things that we can look at when we look at our own immediate history. There are all kinds of cultural practices that we do instinctively as a people. I'm talking about black folks here, that are African. They are. And I know some people, you just melt like the Wicked Witch of the West, that someone throws some chicken grease or some water on you. But, because you just despise that. But it's true. Everything from the sucking of teeth, or, how we do our neck, or, how we do our hair, the type of music and food. We went through this, itemized this. We've done videos on this that are distinctly African. They are. And I know I got some people in the house that says, I ain't no African, I'm a Native American. I've asked the same question. What are some of the Native American practices that were passed down in your family that are distinctively, that are Native American? I still haven't gotten anybody at all to answer that. You'll talk around it, but you won't answer that. All you will say is, well, my grandmother said we're Indian. We don't do my grandmother said I'm Indian research here. We're going to look at all the details, and we're going to plainly ask some simple questions. If you can't answer the questions, then that pretty much gives us the conclusion there. You understand what I'm saying? So anyway, let's move on. Make this very quick, and then we're going to take a short break, and then maybe I'll keep it moving. I do want to keep it moving here. Okay. So you go to the people who wrote it, and now I had some people saying, no, they didn't write the book. You didn't write it. Your Negro behind sure enough didn't write it. The Bible was given to you. Your grandmother may have given you her Bible, but I assure you that her Bible came from them. We did not write it. We did not come over on a slave ship with the gospel, with a little good news version tucked away on our person. It just didn't happen. It did not happen. I know you want that to be the case. It didn't happen. We didn't come over here with Bibles. And that's a hard thing for some people to accept. You just think that you can't. We didn't come over here with a Bible. We didn't come over here with Bible tapes, with Alexander Scorby, them audio tapes. Some of y'all old enough. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. While we were on the slave ship, we listened to Alexander Scorby read the New Testament. We didn't have that, y'all. It was foreign to us. Okay. We weren't listening to those Bible tapes when we on those slave ships. All right. I'm just trying to tell you. So anyway, with that being said, let's look at this. Let's get to the rest of this here, and then we're going to take a break. Okay. And I said, in today's world, the people who wrote the Bible and gave it to you have accomplished the following. This is just a short list there. And I said, created speech laws that make it a crime to criticize them. Financiers behind many top schools and And as Miss Perry pointed out earlier, all you got to do is do a search. Even today, a lot of these, you know what, people, they're mad at the fact that a lot of people ain't buying into this whole narrative that the media is trying to push about this whole Israel versus Palestine thing. They are so mad. They're like, you know what? Shoot, I'm a billionaire. I'm gonna pull out my money. You got all these many schools right now where these people are getting together. It's like a switch has been switched. And they're saying, you can do a search right now. And they're saying, we're pulling out our money. We're pulling out our money. And people are seeing very quickly just how much, who's running this whole show. All right. So you'll see this major influence over the medical industry, control of world banks, control of media, control of Hollywood, control of social media, own and control many top businesses, BlackRock, Blackstone, just to name a few, heavy political influence throughout the world. 3 of the top world religions center around them. Co-authored the Bible along with the Greeks and Romans. Secret societies are built on their ideologies, and there's many, many more I can link. So when I tell you, they pretty much have what this matrix was built by them. Okay, the matrix, the world that we live in today, was built by these people. So if that's the case, then logically it means that regardless of what you may think the Bible is saying, what I may think the Bible is saying, it means nothing because they wrote it and they're running the show. So logically, that should tell you, you know what? I may need to pay attention to how they are interpreting it. You understand what I'm saying? You may not like them, but they are running the entire show. They wrote the scriptures, right? They wrote the script. They're controlling the entire stage. They're financing the stage. So it will do you. So if you're trying to understand what's really going on, you got 2 choices. You either going to listen to someone on YouTube talking about, y'all, I just learned a new word in Hebrew. I just learned a new word in Hebrew, and we're going to do a breakdown of it. We're going to spend the next 3 hours breaking it down. You either going to listen to someone like that, or you're going to listen to these people. You may not be fond of them at all, but they are telling you and breaking down for you, okay, this is what this means. This is what this person needs. Esau actually means this. Jacob actually is this. Amalek actually means this. And what we're trying to do. So they breaking it all down. Their numerology and all that stuff is all baked in. What we call the Bible, it's numerology that's baked into it. You also got cosmology. In other words, like the stars and the positioning of the stars. You don't think there were things that they had in store and planned when we had that eclipse the other day? They know all of that. We'll spend more time on social media debating about the hue of the people that we call the Jewish people of old, the hue of their skin. You don't hear anybody talking about cosmology. I mean, I saw a video today. I didn't really watch it, but I was like, you got to be kidding me. These people spent 5, almost 6 hours debating about this one thing. But the people that wrote this thing, they got books and books and books and books on incantations. We've talked about all this. They got books and books and books on star positionings and what each star constellation, what it really means and what's supposed to happen at that time and all this stuff. They in all of that. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just saying they're playing 5D chess. You playing Pac-Man. I'm just trying to tell you. Do you understand what I'm saying? So this is how it gets down. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you're really trying to understand it. So anyway, let me close this out and we get our break. I said, you may not like this group, but they wrote the scriptures and they are clearly in control. Your or my opinion means nothing to that fact. Let's see. This is why it is comical to listen to individuals who are not in this group try to decipher their writings. A natural disaster happens and you will find teachers, quote unquote, trying to connect it to a scripture. When the event doesn't pan out the way the scripture was originally described, gullible followers simply await the next pick a card, any card interpretation, instead of asking questions or holding these teachers accountable. In some cases, we pump ourselves up with self-made documentaries filled with dramatic readings and music, trying to convince ourselves that we are the true experts of their text. Meanwhile, scriptures like Deuteronomy 15:6 seem to work quite well for this group. And then here's the scripture here. For the Lord thy God bless thee as he promised thee, and thou shalt lend to many nations, but thou shalt not borrow, and thou shalt reign over many nations, but they shall not reign over thee. Now, who does that sound like to you? It don't sound like us. If you know, and I said, the Rothschilds, they must love that scripture. They took that to heart and ran with that joint, didn't they? And then I went on to talk about what we're going to talk about this evening. And let's see. Okay, so that's it. So yeah, so there you go, family. So there you go. So if you want to understand what these people are about, you're going to listen to them. You may not like them. You may call them whatever it is, but these people have been out here on these streets running their mouths for a very long time and putting out truth, what the real truth is and what's really going on. So what you're seeing right now, going on in the Middle East, it's a precursor to things to come, and they have their own interpretations for it. And it will do you good to at least pay attention to what they're saying, so that you can have a clearer understanding, because again, you are completely wasting your time listening to these Negroes out here that they're trying to kind of give you, well, see, that ain't right. That's what they're saying ain't true. What I'm saying is right. I'm like, then your first question you should ask is, well, brother, how long, or sister, how long have you been studying Hebrew? Well, I just been in this thing for a couple of years. Sit down. Okay, let me listen to these people here and see what they're saying. Now, there's a sister on here that it was a video that I recommended. She was like, Dwayne, that was hard to get through. And I know it is. When you listen to how prideful these people are, it ain't exactly like family watching. You know what I mean? But it's something that you do need to pay attention to. That's what I'm saying. So anyway, so what we're going to do now, let's take a short break here, okay? And then when we come back, I'm going to switch things over and we're going to head on over to mybondtube.com. We're going to skim through a couple of videos. And then we're going to look at some other videos too that I bookmark on Twitter, so you can hear for yourself what these people are about. Okay. It ain't me saying it. Let them speak for themselves. All right. So we're going to take a break here and I'll be right back. All right, we're back here. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, just a correction. I know I probably said that, but in the past, what I would do is, you know, depending on the videos I'm showing, because I know the platform I'm on, and I know that there are powers that shouldn't be that will take things down and all this other stuff. So to be safe, we'll just say, you know, we're going to end the broadcast here on this platform, and we're going to continue to broadcast over on our own platform, which is called mybondtube.com. And but I'm not going to do that tonight. We're going to stay here on YouTube. I'm just going to show you just little, I'm going to leave it up to you to watch these videos in its entirety, you know, but I'm going to be putting a lot of videos over there over the next few days so that you can watch it on your own and you can hear for yourself, you know, what these people are saying. But I think we'll be safe, you know, showing stuff, because after all, we're just letting them talk. This ain't me saying this. This is what they have been putting out here, and it's been on YouTube. So, you know, that's just what it is. So anyway, so yeah, we're going to be right here on YouTube. And as always, thank you for Wanea for being on point. Appreciate you, sis. All right, so let's go ahead and get back to it. Then let me bring up our site, mybondtube.com, which is right here. And this is our video platform where you'll find all kinds of documentaries. You'll find movies. You'll find teachings, health stuff, all kinds of, you know, prep stuff, all that kind of stuff. Because see, a long time ago, we said, you know what? We're not going to put all of our eggs in one basket. We're going to build our own platform, you know, so that, you know, if YouTube can, you know, as YouTube will act up when it feels like it, we're not completely at their whim, so to speak. We can continue doing what we've been doing over on our own platform. And thanks to those of you who contribute to this platform to keep it up and keep it going, we really, really do appreciate it. If you are one that would like to contribute something to this platform, and I'm going to tell you right now, we very much appreciate it. 100% goes to it. You just simply go to, you know, mybondtube.com and then scroll down to About. And when you click on About, there's going to be a link there where it says, if you know, the contribution link, $5, $10, whatever you want to give, all of it goes to keeping this page up. And like I said, again, we really appreciate it. I'm not into banging people over the head and saying, y'all, please don't let it go down. No, this is up to y'all. You know, if you want it, if this is a value to you, then you keep it up. If not, and we're going to keep it. We're going to keep right on moving. Truth is going to continue to march on. You understand what I'm saying? But this has been a wonderful tool, you know, for us to get the information out to our people, you know, in a world where social media will take so many things down. If you say the right things or wrong things or whatever, you know, we don't have to be subject to that, at least for now, you know, so. But we ain't no dummies here either. So we know they ultimately they control the whole internet. So there you go. So anyway, these are just a couple of videos that I'm going to kind of skim through. I had another one. I realized I couldn't upload it for some reason. Okay, now there's this thing called the Noahide laws. Okay, and the Noahide laws, in short, are a set of laws that these people established that where they believe are laws that govern the world, so to speak. I'm just being very general here, okay? And let me bring this up here. And so, but on the flip, these Noahide laws do have another side to them, and it's not a side that benefits us, you know? And so let me just play a little bit of this video. I will be skipping a little bit, just so I can get to some other stuff, because I realize now I didn't bring all the videos over here yet. But let's just take a listen to at least some of this so you can get a general idea of what these people have been talking about.
Righteous Gentiles have a place in heaven, yes or no?
Yes, 100%.
So they have a place in heaven, right?
For sure.
And is there a difference to someone who's Christian or Muslim, or does it matter what kind of Gentile they are?
No, if they're doing what they're supposed to do in their role of like helping to fix the world.
If they're doing what they're supposed to do in their role of like helping to fix the world.
Understanding that the Jewish nation has an important part in doing that.
Understanding that the Jewish nation has an important part in doing that.
saving Jews' life? I mean, that's what are we talking about in terms of righteous Gentiles? We're talking about people who save Jews. We're talking about people who are just keeping the 7 Noahide laws. What are we talking about?
Okay, so people who save Jews, obviously I assume you're gonna say yes. Let's just take people. No, they didn't save Jews. They're just nice, good people.
Well, why did God give us the 7 Noahide laws?
Nice, good people who are keeping 7 Noahide laws, or I mean, like good people should.
Will they just go to heaven?
Why not?
What about atheists? Throwing
atheists,
that in.
Atheists go to heaven.
Yeah.
So depending on how do they connect their lives? Somebody who's an atheist that hadn't known better, hadn't known that.
An atheist that keeps the 7 Noahide laws.
Yeah. An atheist that keeps the 7 Noahide laws. That's interesting because one of those laws is to believe in God and to believe in the Jewish people as the chosen nation.
To believe in the Jewish people as the chosen nation.
Okay. I don't know. It's a difficult question to ask.
We try to bring the divine message to all people. The divine message.
Yeah, you know, like a few years ago, I had a debate. It became a very famous debate with a Christian professor about Christianity, and it was a 3 hours debate. And after the debate finished, I started to get many thousands of Gentiles who started to listen to the rest of my lectures. After they watched the debate, they decided they want to leave Christianity, and the next step was to direct them what do they have to do in life, what's their purpose, what's the purpose of the life of the Gentiles here. The Jews, they got the Torah and a public event from God, so they know what their purpose. But how someone from Korea or India or anywhere else in the world, how would they find out what's their purpose? Apparently, there's nobody else that can do it besides the rabbis. The rabbis has to teach the world what's the purpose of all the billions of Gentiles that lives here. Since we have more than 80,000 religions and cults today, and they keep inventing new religions, obviously we have a responsibility as the Jewish nation, the chosen nation of God, to spread His word not only to Jews worldwide, also to Gentiles. As the Gemara said in a few different places, we have to be the light for the nations. And therefore, we have a responsibility to teach all the Gentiles that they're not allowed to be idol worshippers, they're not allowed to make any second god and to have a god, with a sun, or all kinds of statues and animals and trees and all kinds of things that they worship, or the stars. So since there are so many different ways of idol worshippings today, our responsibility is to prevent it. And that's one of the 7 laws of Noah, that the Gentiles cannot worship any idols, but they have to just follow God.
Right, which is really what the first law is about, God, the unity of God. It says that in order for God to have unity, He had unity before He created the world. He created a world, He created diversity. People don't look alike. Note, even though the facial features of every person is similar, but the people do not look alike. What does that mean? People do not think alike. But the common thread that unites us all is if we find the one God. Like you say, finding the one God, as we come closer and closer to the time where everything's exposed, Mashiach is coming. So therefore, idol worship, people say, well, why do I have to worship to an idol when I could worship God directly? It's like, I like to make a joke about it. Like I say,
why do we need a middleman?
It's like a joke. I say it's a little bit of a joke, but I say, if you want to buy wholesale, you come to the Jewish people.
All right, let me skip on.
Yes,
and let's hope that it happens today in Yeshua.
Amen.
And the world comes to fruition, because this is about a process.
I'm gonna show you the Noahide laws for those of you not familiar with
As a rabbi, member of a religious community, founded and director of the Institute of Noahide Code, I want to show you today that the Universal Noahide Code we all talked about before, about the rule of law and how we're all the same. We are all created by God. All human beings are created in the divine image. But the bad news is that we're not all the same. That God created a collage of people from different faiths, different backgrounds, different cultures. Culture is about, some people are more spiritual, more intellectual, some are more emotional. Everyone has a culture. It's like a body. The human body is made up of, to give an analogy of the human body is made up of a head, which is the faculties of the brain. Then you have the heart, which is the emotions. And you have different limbs that carry and do different functions. If you would try to say that the head, that the blood should be like the heart, like the blood which is in the heart should be like in the head, or vice versa, you would destroy a human being. You know, everyone knows that blood belongs in the heart, not in the head. If a person has, God forbid, a stroke or something of that nature, then you know, it's a major catastrophe. So we're not all created alike, but the good news is that we all have a function to unite as one body, and to create that unity and diversity, and have that all come together. And the Institute of Noahide Code, which I'm the director of as an NGO, celebrating diversity, was conceived as an opportunity to unite the world, re-echoing the belief in the one God as the creator of all human beings, and the belief that we are all created in the divine image. The universal Noahide laws are a means which humanity can strive to live in peace and unity. The respect for family, respect for others' property, respect for judicial system.
Now, I want to see if you take notice of that. On one hand, he's saying, just to give you how slick this is. On one hand, he's saying that, hey, we're not all the same, you know, and, you know, we all have these different functions and all this different stuff, right? But then he switches to this administrative kind of role where, well, that's why we need the Noahide laws, right? And so, but he's immediately putting his people in a position where we are responsible for bringing all of this together. So you understand what I'm saying? How on one hand, it's like, well, you know, some people got this, some people got that, or whatever. But and then, you know, so we're all one under God, their God. Do you understand what I'm saying? Or I should say their gods. And they are the ones responsible for bringing all of this together. And that's what the Noahide laws are about here. Let me, before we switch to the other video, because like I said, I'm just going to show you on BondTube, I have some things, but on Twitter, I have a lot more clips I can show you. And like I said, again, I'm being very selective on what I'm going to show you, because there's a whole lot more that I have. Let me see if I can get this up on my screen here. The Noahide laws, and then I have we'll get back to some more videos here. Let's see, come on up. Here we go. The 7 Noahide laws, universal morality. All right, so this is something just so that you understand, and I would highly encourage you, and I know Green Eggs and Lamb, you would definitely agree with this. Highly encourage that people would take the time and really look into this, the Noahide laws, because these aren't just a group of laws that they just threw together. These are laws that are actually tied into the laws of today in your country. In many countries, you will see aspects of the Noahide laws into the fabric of the judicial system and all of that stuff. You will see this. Okay, so I would highly encourage you to take the time, maybe take a day and look this up, because you're going to see that this thing is all over the place. All right. So just to give you an idea, so you know what the 7 Noahide laws are, rules that allow all of us, wink, wink, must keep, regardless of who we are, from where we come. Without these 7 things, it would be impossible for humanity to live together in harmony. Do not profane God's oneness in any way. Acknowledge that there is a single God who cares about what we are doing and desires that we take care of his world. Do not curse your creator. No matter how angry you may be, do not take it out verbally against your creator. Do not murder. The value of human life cannot be measured. Now, again, keep in mind the perspective of these people. They're on one hand, they're pushing these Noahide laws, On the other hand, they just bombed the hospital. But anyway, that I guess that ain't covered under the laws there. But anyway, there's some exceptions to it. Anyway, to destroy a single human life is to destroy the entire world, because for that person, the world has ceased to exist. It follows that by sustaining a single human life, you are sustaining an entire universe. Do not eat a limb of a still living animal. Respect the life of all God's creatures. As intelligent beings, we have a duty not to cause undue pain on other creatures. Do not steal. Whatever benefits you receive in this world, make sure that none of them are the unfair expense of someone else. I'm just going to say things and we're going to keep it moving. If you've ever heard of slumlords, I'm just going to drop that off and we're going to keep on moving, because I could go there, but I know there's some people will get that, what I'm saying there. Okay. Harness and channel the human libido. Incest, adultery, rape, and homosexual relations are forbidden. And let's just stop there for a second. What is known as the capital of homosexuality is Tel Aviv. So this is something they're pushing on the rest of the world, but I'm looking in your own backyard and y'all not even keeping it. The family unit is a foundation of human society. Sexuality is the fountain of life, and so nothing is more holy than the sexual act. So too, when abused, nothing can be more debasing and destructive as the human being. And then the last one, establish courts of law and ensure justice in our world. With every small act of justice, we are restoring harmony to our world, synchronizing it with supernatural order. That is why we must keep the laws established by our government for the country's stability and harmony. Part of this, the Noahide laws, what's kind of bundled in it. This is why I say, please, please, please take the time. And again, I see Green Eggs and Lamb chiming in on this, because she knows it. She knows this stuff. You need to take the time and really learn about this. You really do. You really do. Because, for example, case in point, there are many states here in the United States, for example, where it's law on the book that the state will not engage in they will not hire a contractor if that contractor is on record for saying anything derogatory against the state of Israel. I know Texas, I think, has something on the books. The two states that come to mind immediately is Texas and Florida, but there's plenty of other states as well that have laws on the books right now. If you are a contractor and you want to engage in business with the state and they are doing research on you and they say, oh yeah, you on YouTube saying this about Israel. Okay, we're going to bring that up. No, we can't do that. They can pull rank on you real quick. They can do that. And you'll see these Noahide laws in place. And I think I did something, it was President Bush, I think, had something where he did some declaration, Noahide Law Day. This is all over the United States. Like I said, we can have a whole discussion about this. These are laws, again, not here, just here in the United States, but literally all over the world. You'll see it baked in many of the local, state, and federal laws of many countries all throughout the world. One day we will have a conversation on is this group called Shabbat or Chabad. It's and this is this group right here. When I tell you they run a lot of stuff, I'm talking about in Russia. When you look up, do a search for Putin and the rabbis, you'll see him. He got all these rabbis around him or whatever. This is that group that are working hand in hand with all these different governments. This is fact. So, you know, people want to get mad or whatever. I'm just telling you, this is what's happening. And the Noahide laws are right up in the midst of that. They're all wrapped up in that. And it's something that I would encourage people to learn because, like I said, for the YouTube overlords or whatever, I'm just simply telling people to look at to pay attention to the laws on the books. That's all I'm saying. So I don't see how that can be breaking any kind of thing at all. I'm just simply saying people need to be aware of the laws that are on the books. That's all we're saying here. All right. So it's just what it is. So let me go to this next video here. I'll bring this next video up here. And like I said, again, tonight I was just going to skim through very quickly just some of the videos. I have plenty of other videos that I can show you, but I'm just going to keep it, I'm just keeping it, brief for this broadcast here. Okay. Let's bring it up here. I want you to pay very close attention to what these individuals are saying here. These are two rabbis. Again, take a listen.
Genetically engineered super activity.
Did I?
Before
oh, no, this is, no, not that. This one. Here it is. Take a listen to what they are saying here.
Therefore, if you are holding strong unto Emunah, that we're in the hands of our Heavenly Father, a good and benevolent Father, the benevolent Father only does good things to his children. A father guards and protects his children. The corona is for the non-Jews. It's not for Am Yisrael. It's not for the Jews. Am Yisrael only need to strengthen themselves and to become closer to repentance, to tshuva and to emunah, to faith. Smile. Speak to your Heavenly Father in your own language, and you have nothing to worry about.
All right. Let's show you this. Hold on for a second. Because there's something else I want to show you. There's some things I just have to be a little, I'm just going to show it to you and hope that people will get it. Okay. Hold on for a second. Let me see if I can find it. Because we did a video on this, but we did it over on here on BondTube. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Okay, let me just do it this way. I'm just because I gotta play it safe here. Okay, I gotta play it safe here. So recently, RFK Jr. The media went in on him because he made the claim that again, I got to talk abbreviated here, was not impacting a certain group. Okay. And they went in on him. Oh, you just pushing anti-Semitism and all this. So they went in on him on that, but he's no dummy. We actually did a video a while back. There is an actual medical study that showed that the people in that land, for some reason or another, when you compare them to other people, it was not as much impact. So I'm going to leave it there and I'm going to keep it moving. Okay. But there's a video that we did on that as well. You can look that up, but he was not talking crazy. It was actually a medical study. Okay. So I'm just going to leave it at that and then we'll just we'll see where that goes. Okay. So anyway, but these people aren't talking crazy here. Okay. They it's rooted in some reality, of stuff that's going on here. Now, if I was on BondTube, I'll just say whatever, but I ain't on there. So there you go. So let me scroll down here and I'm going to show you some more quick clips here of things that they are saying. Okay. We're going to let them talk. All right. Let's see here. Jeez, I got a whole bunch of them. Okay, so let me click on this one here. All right, let's take a listen to what this guy is saying. All right, let's go.
Asking what's going to be with the Goyim when Mashiach comes. Someone asked, who cares? Okay. As a nation, they'll cease to exist, even as individuals. Every individual, no survivors. Not only as a nation, they'll cease to exist, even as individuals. As goyim, they're gone. Their personality, as they exist bifnei atzmam, as they would exist independently of Klal Yisrael, they don't exist. They're done. In modern terminology, they call it cultural genocide. There's a term for it by the progressives. It's called cultural genocide, and they use the word genocide. So that's the opinion who says v'karka kol b'nei sheis that they'll be annihilated. They basically learn there's going to be cultural genocide. That you know what the goyim as they exist as goyim b'fnei atzmam, that's done with. Batul u'mavutul.
The goyim is, in their vernacular, is us. It's everybody that's not them. That's who they say that the goyim is. Okay, so this is a rabbi saying that at some point we are going to cease to exist. Okay, now I don't know if y'all saw this video here. He's not a rabbi, but this I probably have to mute this because there's some music on there and I don't want to get in trouble for that. But if you take a look at this is a Israeli individual who's making fun of the fact that the Palestinians don't have running water or power. And so he posted this on social media and he's kind of making fun of him. Again, these are, supposed to be the chosen. Okay. And he's doing this kind of stuff and posted this on social media, but he's not the only one. There was numbers of people, that were posting all kinds of stuff on there. And, we're not supposed to talk about these things, right? But we're going to talk about it. We're going to show it because it's on social media and we're on social media right now. So I don't see what the problem is. Let's go to, you guys that may have heard that story about, as I'm kind of scrolling through, you guys may have heard of the story about they were making a claim that it was 40 babies, exactly 40 babies that were decapitated. Well, that story came out to be completely false, as we suspected that it was completely false. It wasn't true at all. And, they were putting stuff out like that. Anyway, here's another one here. This is another rabbi. I want you to pay close attention to what he is saying. I don't have to infer anything. I'm going to let them talk. All right, let's go. And you trying to copy them? You crazy. You on your own on that one. Take a listen.
So that's about the ayin here. The last verse also very, very, it's in a certain way the most forceful verse in the whole Bible. It says, happy is the one that takes the infants of Babel and of Edom and smashes them on the rock, just like they did to us. The last, and this is what we say before benching, right? That's the end of this. That the ultimate revenge again are going, innocent infants. Happy is the one that takes the infants and smashes them and kills them on the rock. And then we bless Hashem for the food that we ate. Some of all of the letters of the alphabet from Aleph to Tav equal Hakol Emet. Emet is called the beginning, the middle, and the end of the entire alphabet. So this chapter, it's Gemati, the whole chapter is Hakol, everything is true. From the very beginning of our feeling, sitting in Golut on the rivers of Babylon, until the final emotion that is expressed in this chapter of happy is you that takes the infants of Babel and smashes them on the rock, just as they did to us.
Now I know I played that in an earlier video, but I wanted to play that one again. I'm gonna, before we get out of here, there's something I want to add to that as well. But all right, let me scroll on up here. Let me see if I got other things. Like I said, I got plenty of stuff, but what I'll be doing is uploading it to over on BondTube, so you get to hear it for yourself. Okay. All right. So let's see. Yeah, we did a video on that, so you may want to check that out. Okay, because what he's quoting is a verse out of the Bible. And we did a video on that and asked some basic questions on that. All right, so let's see here. Okay, here we go. Here's another one here.
With Israel bombing some parts of Gaza, no, I don't agree with what Israel is doing. I actually think they should do much more. They should completely annihilate the whole place, take over the land. Anyone that wants to survive just simply has to leave. They annihilate everything, make it into a little football field, and then whoever is a decent human being is going to be allowed to live there under Jewish rule. That's what I think they should do. What they're doing right now is, trying to pacify the people. So if you're asking me, do I agree? No, I don't agree, but I probably give you an answer that you weren't expecting either.
Mm-hmm. It's a whole new different tone from that the Noahide laws, isn't it? All right, and here's another one here. This one has you have to read the subtitles on this one, okay? All right, let me make this bigger here. Like I said, let them talk.
אותו אחד מייסד הנצרות, אותו אחד מה שקורה איתו למעלה עכשיו מות הגמרא בגיטין וזל מות שם הגמרא, דנים אותו בצואה רותחת, חבילה של צואה, של פסולת שיוצא מהקיבה של בני אדם, וחתולים וכלבים ואריות ונמרים, רותחת, מבעבעת, שם שמים אותו, שם הוא נענש לרקור רגע. זה חכה, את זה לא הבאתם, כל הכנסיות, כל הצלבים שלהם, הצלב הגדול הזה על הארו בברזיל, מתפוצץ לרסיסים, לכל העולם, וכולם יראו את זה. כולם יראו את זה. ולהוציא את השקר של כולם. אותו אחד מייסד הנצרות, אותו אחד מה שקורה איתו למעלה עכשיו מות הגמרא בגיטין וזל מות שם הגמרא, דנים אותו בצואה רותה.
So he's saying that, Jesus is this what's going to happen to him. That's where he is right now. He's in hell. You know that. That's what they're saying there. Okay, let's see. Here's another one here.
The army is the solution. Let them do it the way they know how to do it. Don't mix in politics. An army does what an army does. Politicians should stay out of the army. Let them do what they know how to do. Don't give them limits and don't give them rules and don't tell them how to fight. They are the soldiers. Let them.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever they do, you defend them to the world. Because they're doing what has to be done. They are depending on politics to save them. Somebody's going to suggest a ceasefire. God forbid. You know what to do? Then do it. Surprise them that you are not limited anymore in what you do and how you do it, and that they can't use that against you anymore. That's the new tone we need to hear. We need to hear we're not playing by your rules. We're playing by the rules of the Torah.
A verse in the whole Bible that says, happy is the one that takes...
Okay, so we saw that. So, here again, you have a chief rabbi that's pushing and saying that, hey, listen, you need to leave them alone. Let them do what they're supposed to do. These are soldiers, and let them do what they're supposed to be, let them do it. Let them be soldiers and let them no holds barred. Let me see. Let's see if I can find another one here. Yeah, the stuff I really want to get into, I will get into that. I can do that on our other platform because I can't do that here. Let's see. Now, this is, Jack Hagee. I want you to listen to what he's saying because, you got Christians. This is what before I bring this up, this is what I wanted to bring up. This is what I wanted to bring up about this with Christianity and why you have been seeing so many people in the Christian world that's been like, yeah, that's right. You need to just no holds barred. You just need to wipe them off the face of the earth, and you just need to destroy them and just don't have, I don't care, men, women, and children. You need to just get rid of all of them, right? You got Christians, you got churches that are saying this stuff now. Well, when you stop and think about this for a second, I wonder where they got that from. Why is it that when America fights, they don't say that? But when these people fight, all of a sudden it's like, no, you just got to wipe them all out. Why do we have Christians that are pushing that? Well, it actually starts right in the Bible. When you look at the Bible, the whole story about Joshua and the Israelites going into the land of Canaan, what was their commission? To basically wipe everybody out. And how many songs, how many messages, how many movies, how many things that we have done to preach that message over and over again, that they were supposed to go in there and wipe everybody out. You got to wipe everybody out. You got to wipe men, women, and children, the dogs and the cats and the sheep and the goats and the goldfish. And they had them, everybody, wipe them out. That's how you're supposed to do it. And there was some verses that we put in that post the other day. We were talking about ravishing the women. It's in the Bible. And then I turned and I asked you in the audience. I asked you, I said, now, do you see yourself doing that? Do you see yourself doing that? Ravishing women. Taking out children. Can you see yourself doing that? Happy is he that's bashing children against the rocks? These are things that you got to ask. And then you got to ask yourself, is this a pattern found within our culture as a people? I'm talking about black folks. Do you find any case within black culture where we were happy with doing that kind of stuff? Where we got our kicks on doing that kind of ravishing women? But see, when I ask this kind of question and I pose it to people, well, that's the part where they just added that. No. Because see, we were singing those songs. We were reading these scriptures upside and we were waving our flags too and said, that's right. That's what's going to happen. And we need to do that again. The Bible itself was preparing people for this very moment that we're living in right now. And this is why you're seeing people falling out. I saw this one interview, I think it was on CNN. They were talking to a politician and the woman that was interviewing him was like, hey, so you're saying that, you got little children there. That's right. I mean, he couldn't even let him finish. And he was like, yeah, just take them all out. I mean, you want to talk about bloodthirsty. I mean, this is really amped up. But I'm telling you right now, that is not part of our culture as a people. I don't care if you identify yourself, in this case, I don't care if you identify yourself as a person of African descent. If you're saying I'm native, I ain't from Africa, I don't care. For this particular part of what we're talking about here, that is not part of the culture, not our culture, not doing that kind of stuff. There's only one group of people that you'll see that where they did that kind of stuff, and it wasn't us. But again, when you talk to these Hebrews, they won't say that. They won't bring this kind of stuff up. We just conveniently skip over it. Well, that's the part that they added to the Bible. That's been in the Bible. Y'all the same ones that are saying this is the black man's book, or rather the black history book. I'm telling you, that ain't black history. That ain't our history doing that kind of stuff. And today you have these teachers that are out there, that some of them I'm showing you right now, that are telling you, hey, yeah, that we have a commission by our God to come in and to do this kind of stuff. We're commissioned to do this. And you got churches that are pushing this and are saying they okay with this. Like it's nothing. It's really something to see. It's really something to see. But anyway, let me see. I had this because here, with that being said, let me show you Jack Hagee. As you guys know, he is all the way in the tank for these people. Take a listen to him and what he's putting, what some of the stuff he's been putting out here, man. This dude, he's always been like this though, but it's really amped up now. This is his moment. Listen.
Hitler hated the Jewish people who were declared in the Bible to be the apple of God's eye. If something in you hates the Jewish people, that something is demonic, and you need to get rid of it. And get rid of it now.
So if there are people out here that hate them, that means that you're demonic. There's something demonic about you. This is what's being preached in a lot of these churches right now. Now, take a listen to this one. Now, this is an interview. Now, this is Janet Yellen, okay? Janet Yellen, you know, the finance woman, okay? Central bank woman. Now, as many of our people that are out here that have been banging the door to, you know, as far as America's concerned, that you need to pay us reparations. You need to get us some reparations and all that. And what have I been saying? I'm all for it. But I know on the real, in this current system, it ain't happening because you don't have the resources. You don't have the infrastructure to get it. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying we're not owed it, because every time I bring this up, I always get some of these young boys that come up to me and say, you just giving up so easily and all this. I said, no, I ain't giving up nothing. I just ain't crazy. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not going to waste my time with that. So let me invest in things, in other things where I can get my people to live a good, prosperous, fun-filled, exciting filled, fulfilling life. Let me invest in that, because I am not going to waste my time begging and please, sir, can you please give us our check, because you owe us. You owe us. You got to give us something. And doggone it, you going to give us something. You giving them stuff and you giving us stuff, but you ain't giving us stuff. Doggone it. Why you? I'm not wasting my time like that. I ain't cooning, I ain't begging, and I ain't bending my knee to anybody when it comes to that kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, that's your world. That's how y'all want to roll. Okay, fine. Okay, what do I got on my arsenal? Okay, I got this, or this. Okay, let me focus over here. Let me do this. We can put our stuff together and we can still get things done. And then as far as that's concerned, I'm going to leave that to the creator to figure that out, because we don't have a military to take out these people in order to get what we say is owed to us. Let's keep that a buck. So I ain't going to waste my time, and I ain't going to waste your time on here strategizing. We're going to have a get together in DC and we're going to demand. Them folks looking at you like, shut up, man. You wasting time. But see, people don't want to hear that. Anyway, listen to Janet Yellen. I want you to who's also them people. I want you to hear the question that's being posed to her, and I want you to take notice on how she answers and what her answer and how she answers it. I want you to take a listen to this, okay? Oh, she's very clear on her answer here. Let's take a listen.
What this all means. Paul Tudor-Jones, the famed investor, was on CNBC this week, and he said, "This is the most threatening and challenging geopolitical environment that I've ever seen. At the same time, the US is in its weakest fiscal position since World War II, with debt to GDP at 122%. Can America, can the West afford another war at this time?"
I think the answer is absolutely. America can certainly afford to stand with Israel and to support Israel's military needs. And we also can and must support Ukraine in its struggle against Russia. And look, the American economy is doing extremely well.
So listen, so she right there, you can play that clip and just turn off the lights on reparations. You can play that clip and turn the lights off on the whole reparations things at that point, because what she said in that one comment, she said, we got money to do what we want to do, but we ain't got money for y'all. They don't already made that choice and made that decision. And if you think you're begging and you're crying and all your endless videos is going to change that, it ain't. It's not. Do you understand what I'm saying? Again, I'm not saying you are hopeless, because see, that's what the civil rights movement, that's what they planted in your mind. If the government doesn't do this, then you are hopeless. That's a lie from the pit of hell. No, it's not. We don't need the government for anything. Do you understand what I'm saying? We can still do for self. We can connect. We can come together. There are things we can do for ourselves and live a good life. We can. There are black folks that are doing it right now. What you got to watch out for are these knuckleheads and these pinheads and these devils that are out here that are running all these scams in all these different circles right here to take your money and say, you know, just send me your money so we can build this. You know who I'm talking about. Or send me your money and we can do this or whatever. And then start creating these divisions between black folks that are all in this diaspora that we're in. And we're creating all these these diaspora, wars and stuff like that. The black man against the black woman and all this other stuff. See, I'm telling you right now, there are black folks that are into that stuff. They're like, y'all can do that you want, but let me connect with people. Like I told you on this platform, my wife and I, we're working with people here. We're working with people outside of the country as well. I'm talking about black folks that are about building, that are about networking and about doing business. That's what we're about doing. We ain't got to put everything on Front Street for y'all, but that's what we're doing. And we're going to continue to build on that. And if you go back to the other video, I said, not everybody got in your little network got to look like you. You understand what I'm saying? You got goals, you got objectives that you're trying to meet. And I'm going to work with anybody that's going to help me to get to that point. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you ain't about it, you can get out of my face. It's simple as that. You understand what I'm saying? So this is the mindset that we have to have in this time right now. The government is not your friend. They're not going to stop what they're doing and saying, you know what, we're going to give money to these darkies because they just been screaming too much. Oh man, these different YouTubers, man, they starting to get to us now. They these YouTubers, they bothering us now. We're going to have to do something now. I know we got trillions of dollars here. The heads of BlackRock and Blackstone, they're like, oh Lord, the YouTubers now, he done said something now. Oh my goodness. Tariq Nasheed and all these other ones, they start to call us out now. We're going to have to do. You think they care about that? Or me, for the example, put me in that number. You think they care about what no. They don't care about this. You understand what I'm saying? So what I've learned is I got to move away, from a lot of this drama. There's some folks I just can't be around with. Bye. I can't be around you. And let me connect with people who are about the work and about the business. And we can do some exciting things together. And that's how you got to think in this age. Let me see if I have any other videos, which I do. But I'm looking at my time right now. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm really running long here. Let me see. Because there's things I could show y'all, but I just, I'm not going to show on this platform here. I have some other things here too. And this is the thing, like I said, it's messed up. This is what I'm trying to tell you. It's like there are things I could show and it's coming straight out of their mouth. But I know if I put too much out there, so I have to do that over on BondTube. So keep your eyes over on mybondtube.com and you will see me uploading a bunch of videos on there. Just go to like the recently added section over the next few days and you'll see me adding more and more videos up there. But let me just close with this and we're done. When you look at the top talkers, when you're looking at the political scene on the left and on the right, the top people that are the ones that are the talking heads, if you will, like the commentators on the left and on the right, it's those people. This is what's so funny about it. If you want to control the narrative, you control both sides of it. And this is the strategy that they have enacted for a very long time. They control both sides of the narrative. And so on the political scene, it's no different. When you look at on the left, you look at all the talk show hosts, many of them are those people. When you look on the right, it's the same thing. And, you know, you got certain ones, and both of them, it's like they came together in unity when it came to this whole thing that was going on in Israel. It was very funny to see this and how they were just losing their minds over the fact that how dare you even question us on anything like this. So on one hand, all this time they were just saying God on the right, it's about America, God bless America and all of that, right? But when this thing happened, they threw that thing real quick. I noticed that real quick. They would toss all that. God bless America is going to be blown to bits if you don't fall down and do what we're telling you to do, that kind of stuff, you know. But if you listen, the goal tonight is for you to really pay attention. If you want to understand the when they talk about Gog and Magog, or Gog or Magog, some people say it differently or whatever. If you want to understand what that really means, and I have a video on that too, you need to listen to who they say Gog and Magog, who they are. They will tell you why, because they wrote it. Black man, black woman, let me just say this again. You will be a fool to sit up here to listen to anyone who is not them people trying to give you interpretation of their ancient writings. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? Please tell me if you understand what I'm telling you. Do I have to say it another way? Let me say it one more time, because what I'm telling you, you're going to have to make some immediate adjustments, because there are far too many people out here saying things that they think is prophetic or profound or whatever, but you're not part of that circle. You don't have that kind of access. Do you understand what I'm saying? And you think that, oh man, I just really appreciate you doing this breakdown. I can't break down this stuff. All I'm doing is repeating what they done put out. You understand what I'm saying? What they put out, I'm saying this is what they're saying. Now you figure that out and look at what's happening in the news right now. Don't it match? Well, there you go. There's so many people out here saying, you know, you think about it, every natural disaster that happens. See, y'all, I'm telling you, he's coming back. He's coming back. They've been saying that. How in the church world, they've been saying that every natural disaster. Oh, he's coming back. This thing is wrapping up. We're in the last days now. We're in the last days. 50 years later, they're saying the same thing over and over again. Why? Because these people don't know. They don't know. You don't have the access. Again, the Bible, the Torah, the Talmud, all of that is not just words. These are coded language. And I'm not going to pretend as if I can decipher it, because I'm not them people. Do you understand what I'm saying? I can point things to you and say, listen, check that out, check this out, look at that, listen to them or whatever. But I am not going to sit up there because I didn't grow up. Last thing, these people, they have schools. They're like Torah schools or rabbinical schools where they teach these young men, they teach them at a very young age everything about the Torah. Everything. All you got to do is go to Brooklyn. For those of you who live in the New York area, all you got to do is they got these rabbinical schools all over the place. They teach them from a very young age until they get into their adulthood, everything about the Torah, everything about the Talmud. They teach them all that. They're not just teaching them. You think they just having a Bible study up there? See, the thing is, some of y'all be listening to these Negroes saying, I'm going to teach you some Torah. I'm going to break it down for you, but you got to pay, I'm going to have it on my Patreon, and I'm going to give you the secrets of their language. You know what I'm saying? No, it ain't no 2-week course. This is something they have dedicated their entire lives to. And there's things in there that they baked in that you and I ain't going to pick up on because we're not privy to those things. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're not. So some of y'all going to have to stop lying and kidding yourself and thinking that you're privy to it. You're not. I'm telling you right now, even me, I'm not. But I do have an understanding that, okay, this is their matrix. I may want to pay attention to what they're saying and their little interpretations of it, because by that I'll be able to learn a thing or two. But I'm not going to sit up here and pretend as if I know it, because I don't. You understand what I'm saying? So stop wasting your time, family, and listening to these folks out here that think that they can break things down for you. They're not. They're not. They're really not. You understand what I'm saying? Because what's happening right now in the Middle East, what's happening right now just across the world right now, it's a lot deeper than what a lot of people may think it is. And what I'm saying to you is this, is that Your focus should be on you and your family. You understand what I'm saying? And making sure you're taking care of your family, taking care of your people, and protecting your peace. That's really the best advice I can give you. All this other stuff and trying to decipher and discern who's part of the Freemasons and all that. If you want to do that, that's up to you. I ain't got time for that. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's too many layers to that for me to waste my time. What I look like trying to show someone, one of my elders on here that's like 75, 80 years old and trying to break down the Freemason world to that. I ain't doing what? By the time you reach that age, you ain't thinking about that. I want to make sure the elders are taken care of. I want to make sure they're getting the best of care and everything. I ain't trying to give them all the, well, you know, these secret societies, we're going to do a whole breakdown. Why? You ain't thinking about that right now at this stage in your life. Is you thinking about that right now in this stage of your life? No, I can answer that for you. No, we're not. In this stage of our lives right now, there are things we should be focused on, and it starts with the home. All right, starts with the home, starts with your family, and we focus on that. And then from there, whoever the Creator brings your way to help facilitate those things, then you need to connect with them and then keep it moving. You understand what I'm saying? But all this other stuff out here, family, we ain't gonna do that. Tonight was just a simple exercise for you. If you really wanting to know what's going on, listen to the people who wrote the script. It's just as simple as that. If you don't want to do that, then all you're doing is wasting your time and you just forever guessing. Okay? Stop wasting your time with these fools out here, because you're just wasting your time with all these other people that run their mouths, but they really don't know what the heck they're talking about. They really don't. Okay? There's a lot of other things, like I said, we'll get into now that I'm set up in, in our home now. So we'll be doing more lives in the near future. And, like I said, there's some content I've learned from the past. There's certain things I just cannot cover or say on this platform. I ain't trying to be deep or scary. I'm just telling you what's happened to me in the past. So I'm just saying, so there are going to be videos that we will do that we will have live over on mybantu.com, where I'll be able to talk even more plain, over there, so that we can just do complete breakdowns on stuff. And I promise you it won't be as long as this one. Okay. All right, family, that is all I have for you. Thank you so much for tuning in to this broadcast. I'm so glad that you guys joined us. And let me see what I got. Close out here. I'll close out with that. Okay, family, that's all right. That's all we got for you this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys take care. Love you very much. And we'll be talking again soon. All right. And I know my face look greasy tonight, y'all. I'm gonna fix all of that. I was just setting it up tonight. I just had to throw it together tonight, but we'll get it better the next time around. I just looked. I was like, oh, it's all right. Take care.